Most people think AI is just a tool, something that makes work faster, something that helps companies grow, something that belongs in the future. But the truth is, AI is not coming. AI is already here, and it is quietly replacing millions of jobs right now. Not in science fiction, in offices, in call centers, in design studios, in finance departments, in everyday careers that once felt safe. For decades, the middle class survived through one promise: if you learn a skill, if you work hard, if you stay disciplined, you will always have value. But AI is changing that rule. Because for the first time in history, machines are not only replacing manual labor, they are replacing thinking, writing, analyzing, planning, even decision-making. And when the economy stops rewarding human effort the same way, the middle class becomes fragile. This is not just a technology story. This is a money story, a wealth story. Because whenever productivity shifts, so does power. Companies save billions. Efficiency increases. But workers feel something else: uncertainty. The fear that their job may not exist in 5 years. And here's the uncomfortable part: this transition will not happen loudly. It will happen quietly. One department at a time. One role at a time. One layoff that feels normal. The middle class won't collapse overnight. It will shrink slowly, until people wake up and realize the rules changed. In this video, you'll understand what AI is really doing to the economy, why the middle class is at the center of this shift, and what financial survival will require in the AI age. Because the future is not about working harder. It's about adapting before it's too late. The first jobs AI replaces are not always the lowest paid. They are the most repeatable. The jobs built on patterns: customer support, basic accounting, content writing, data entry, simple marketing tasks. Work that once required a human now takes a machine seconds. And companies don't replace people because they are cruel. They replace people because it is cheaper, faster, more scalable. AI doesn't take lunch breaks. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't demand raises. So businesses do what businesses always do: they optimize. And optimization changes everything. This is why the middle class is vulnerable. Middle class jobs were built on stability, office work, administrative roles, professional careers that felt protected. But AI is now entering the exact space the middle class depends on. Not factories. Not warehouses. Desks. Screens. Emails. Reports. That is a historic shift. Because when middle class income becomes uncertain, the entire economy changes. Less security means less spending. Less spending means slower growth. More people compete for fewer stable roles. And wages begin to compress. Even those who keep their jobs feel pressure. More performance. More output. More stress. Because AI becomes the new benchmark. Humans are expected to match machine speed. And when people can't, they feel replaceable. This creates a silent financial anxiety. Not poverty, but fragility. A world where a career no longer guarantees stability. And here's the most important point: AI will not replace everyone equally. Those with leverage will benefit. Those without options will struggle. The gap will widen. Companies will grow richer. Highly skilled workers will adapt. But millions in the middle will feel squeezed. This is why AI is not just a tech revolution. It is a wealth redistribution event. And in the next part, we'll explore the deeper question: if jobs disappear, where does income come from? And what happens to financial freedom in an AI economy? So what happens when millions of people are no longer needed the same way? This is the question nobody is answering honestly. Because the economy is built on work. Work creates income. Income creates spending. Spending keeps the system moving. But if AI reduces the need for human labor, then the foundation shifts. Some people will win. Those who own the technology. Those who control the companies. Those who invest early. Because AI increases productivity massively. One worker with AI can now do the work of 10. That sounds impressive, but it also means fewer workers are required. This is where wealth concentrates. Ownership becomes everything. The people who own the machines earn the rewards. The people who rent their time earn less. This is why the middle class faces the hardest pressure. They don't own enough to benefit fully, but they earn too much to qualify for support. They sit in the most exposed zone. Too replaceable for stability. Too responsible to stop. This is why many jobs won't disappear suddenly, they will shrink. Fewer promotions. Lower wage growth. More contract work. More gig-style careers. The middle class becomes less of a ladder and more of a treadmill. And when income becomes unstable, people delay life. They delay buying homes. They delay having children. They delay long-term plans. The economy becomes anxious. Not because people are lazy, but because the future feels uncertain. This is how financial pressure spreads. Quietly. Across an entire generation. AI doesn't just change jobs. It changes confidence. It changes security. It changes what people believe is possible. And the biggest danger is psychological. People assume hard work will protect them, until it doesn't. The old formula breaks. And those who adapt early gain an advantage. In the next part, we'll talk about adaptation, what skills survive, what income becomes valuable, and how the middle class can build financial resilience in an AI age. So does this mean the middle class is doomed? Not necessarily. But it does mean the rules are changing. The future will reward different things. In the AI economy, the most valuable skill is not repetition, it is judgment. AI can generate answers. But humans still provide direction. AI can write. But humans decide what matters. AI can analyze. But humans ask the right questions. This is why adaptation is possible. The people who survive are not the ones who fight technology, but the ones who learn to work with it. Because AI is not replacing humans, it is replacing humans who don't adapt. The middle class will need leverage, not just effort. Leverage means building income beyond hours. Ownership. Skills that scale. Systems that grow without constant labor. This could mean learning AI tools, building digital assets, creating expertise that cannot be automated easily. The jobs that survive are the ones closest to strategy, leadership, complex decision-making, human trust, creativity with context. And financial resilience will require one major shift: stop relying on one fragile income stream. Most middle-class families depend on a single paycheck. That is dangerous in a world of rapid disruption. The goal becomes building options, emergency buffers, investments, side income, flexibility. Not overnight wealth, but stability through diversification. This is how freedom is built in uncertain times. Slowly, deliberately, before disruption becomes crisis. Because the AI revolution will not wait. It will accelerate. And the middle class must choose, adapt early, or feel the pressure later. In the next part, we'll explore the bigger picture: how AI may reshape society, what happens to inequality, and why this could become the defining economic shift of our lifetime. AI is not just changing careers. It is changing society. Because whenever technology increases productivity, the biggest question becomes, who benefits? History shows a pattern. When machines become more powerful, wealth often concentrates. Those who own the systems grow richer. Those who depend only on wages feel squeezed. This is why AI could widen inequality faster than anything before. Companies will produce more with fewer people. Profits rise. Efficiency rises. But wages may not rise the same way. The middle class, already under pressure, may feel even more fragile. And this is where the real risk appears, a world where millions feel economically unnecessary. Not because they lack value, but because the market no longer rewards their role. That creates social tension, political instability, psychological stress, a future where security feels rare. And when security becomes rare, people become fearful. They stop spending. They stop trusting. They stop planning. This is why AI is not only an innovation, it is a structural economic shock. Some will call it progress. Others will experience it as displacement. And the transition may happen quietly. Not through dramatic collapse, but through slow erosion. Fewer stable jobs. More temporary work. More pressure on the middle. More wealth at the top. This is why the next decade will define everything. AI will either become a tool that lifts society, or a force that deepens the divide. The outcome depends on preparation, on education, on policy, but most importantly, on individuals adapting before the system forces them to. Because the middle class cannot afford to be passive anymore. In the final part, we'll bring it all together, what this shift really means, and what financial survival will require in the AI age. At the end of the day, this is the truth. AI is not just a technological shift. It is a financial shift, an economic shift, a middle-class shift. For the first time in history, machines are not only replacing muscle, they are replacing minds. And that changes the rules of work forever. The middle class was built on stability, a predictable career, a steady paycheck, a future that slowly improved. But AI introduces uncertainty into the very center of that system. Jobs will change. Some will disappear. New ones will emerge. But the people who wait will feel the pressure first. This is why the future belongs to those who adapt early, those who build leverage, those who develop skills that scale, those who stop relying on one fragile income stream. Financial freedom in the AI age will not come from working harder. It will come from working smarter, from ownership, from flexibility, from resilience. The goal is no longer just earning income, it is building options. Because in a world that changes quickly, options are survival. AI can be a threat, or it can be an advantage. The difference is awareness, preparation, action. If you understand this shift now, you are already ahead of most people. So take one small step today, learn how the system is changing. Invest in skills. Protect your financial stability. And build a future that cannot be easily replaced. If this video gave you clarity, subscribe to Finvanta Finance. Because money is changing. Work is changing. And the middle class is changing. But you can change with it, before it's too late.